Hey everybody, Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and carnivore. It is Monday, June 26th, 2023, and this is the update for week 4 of my journey to Wonderland using beef, butter, bacon, and eggs carnivore, and this week, a 72-hour fast. You're watching Big Anklevich on health. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Let's check out the daily updates and see how I did this week. We'll talk more on the other side. Hey everybody, it is Monday, and I don't have any numbers to tell you about because this morning I woke up in Fredericksburg instead of Houston. And I forgot to bring my meter with me on our little trip, so I couldn't check it and see just how badly the foods that I've been eating since I've been here worked me over. I mean, it can't be too bad. I haven't eaten anything that isn't meat. I haven't even eaten cheese, so it's pretty good. But, some stuff, like the sausage, that could have anything in it. Who knows? But this morning, when we got up, I had these bacon and eggs at the hotel breakfast. Were they actually eggs? I don't know. You look at those eggs, they kind of don't look like eggs, right? They look a little weird. I think they're those boil-in-a-bag eggs. I think you just add water to a bunch of powder. So they could be as much pancake mix as eggs for all I know. And the bacon that I had here was also just terrible. It was like that paper-thin stuff. I don't even know where they get it. Where do you get paper-thin bacon from? They only have it in restaurants for some reason. Cheap, crappy McDonald's type restaurants, and then I guess at hotel breakfasts. So it wasn't a particularly good breakfast, but it was carnivore, and it was something. It was free. It came with the hotel stay, so I was gonna eat it instead of go pay for more. And so that's what we had, and then we did some stuff. We eventually hit the road right around lunchtime. We were kind of hungry. We were looking for somewhere to stop, but we didn't see any place to stop. And I did suggest, why don't we just go to McDonald's? I can order a whole bunch of burger patties. My wife's like, I don't want McDonald's. And so we moved on and we drove down the road for several hours. And at a certain point, my wife was getting hungry enough. She's like, oh, geez, maybe I should have taken you up for the McDonald's. But anyways, we did wind up stopping at Buc-ee's again eventually. And I got myself another pound of brisket to eat. So yeah, I spent like $50 on brisket this weekend. Once on the way out and once on the way back. But it was wonderful. I was pretty hungry by the time I got it, and I scarfed it all down, and I was just like, man, that brisket tasted so good. It was lovely. But yeah, that was, this day was a lot atypical because I didn't get my numbers. I didn't go for a walk. I didn't do anything particularly, I just ate. But that's okay. Starting tomorrow afternoon is my 72-hour fast. So, I guess eating extra is good to prepare for that. And we'll talk about starting that up tomorrow. Okay, it is Tuesday and I am back in town and back to normal. This morning I got up and I was able to check my numbers, and I guess I took a bit of a hit from that overnight trip. My ketones are all the way down at 1.6, which is a long ways down from what they were. And my blood sugar is up to 104, which still isn't terrible, but it's not particularly good. And I haven't been over 100 for like the whole week. So that kind of sucks. That makes my Dr. Boz ratio at 65, which, again, it's not good numbers. We'll see how things change, considering what's coming up. After checking my numbers, I went out and I did my run. Today was running day for the Couch to 5K thing. I had to run 1 minute, then walk 1 minute, and I had to do that 15 times. I'm ramping up. It was a little bit tough, but not too bad. I was able to handle it. think I have to run 15 minutes straight by the end of the week, so I'm gonna have to step it up. But yeah, I ran. I did a good job. I think I was not too terrible. I was sweating a lot, but you know, it's hotter than frick here. Super, super hot. But you know, I go at the early time of day when it's probably the best time to go of all. Sadly, I had stuff going on this morning. Our air conditioner is kind of on the fritz, so I was trying to deal with that, take care of it, figure out what was wrong, and nothing that I tried worked. So I finally just had to call a place, and they said, yeah, we'll be there in a week. And I was just like, oh my gosh, a week! We're all gonna die by then. The air conditioner works partially, so we're not all gonna die, but you know, when it's 80 degrees and you're trying to sleep at night, that's pretty difficult. But dealing with all that caused me to forget to eat my meal, my breakfast, early enough. So I ate bacon and eggs, and it was good bacon and good eggs, not that weird hotel crap. Both of them were lovely. And I had that at about 10 o'clock, and I was trying to start my fast by noon so that I could get the full 72 hours in. And 2 hours later is just too soon to eat a second meal. I made the meal anyways. I made this ground beef. I cooked it up and had it ready to eat. And I sat down and I ate, I don't know, 5 or 6 bites of it. And I was just like, I can't eat this. I'm full. And so that's all I got in. And then my time started. So I'm going into a 72-day fast. Sorry, 72-hour fast. 72-day fast. That's crazy talk. But yeah, so I'm starting into that, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll bring the ketones back up and the blood sugar back down, and it'll be just what the doctor ordered. We'll see how that works. It's gonna be a while, so I'll be telling you about how I'm not eating again tomorrow. It is Wednesday, and I'm hungry. It's just started too, which is kind of sad. I'm at about 24 hours on my fast, and I'm hungry, but you know, of course I am. This is the same time basically that I ate yesterday. So, you know, that's just what your body does. I'll get through it and I should be fine. I'm going to try and make sure to put salt in my water today, just like I did yesterday, and make sure I keep myself good and electrolyted, which is a real word. And yeah, should be fine. I got up this morning and I took my measurements. My blood sugar was 96, which is down a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little. And my ketones were 2.2, which is up a little bit. So that's nice. That makes my Dr. Boz ratio 43, which is it's a respectable Boz ratio. My body should be doing good things at a ratio like that. I don't know, we'll see. I don't even know necessarily how you exactly measure that kind of stuff. Not supposed to use a scale. That doesn't tell you anything particular. DEXA scan. Do I got to get a DEXA scan every day? Anyways, yeah, that's looking good. After that, I went and I took a walk. Just a leisurely stroll. It's a rest day. I'm not running for the marathon or anything. So I just walked for about 2 miles, and a nice slow 20 minutes per mile kind of a pace, and it was good. And then I came home and I just kept on not eating, and that's where I am now. I'm just not eating. Don't have any food to show you for today because I didn't eat any, and I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna tomorrow and even part of the next day. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I'm doing okay. Okay, it is Thursday, and this morning I got up, took my measurements, and I was at 81 with my blood sugar and 2.8 with my ketones. That's still kind of lower than I have been with ketones, but my blood sugar is down too, so it's not terrible. It still gives me a Dr. Boz ratio of 29, which is a pretty good one. I would like to get it as close to 20 or even under 20 if I can. Just to encourage general overall health. So yeah, I'm on the final day, the final full day, I guess, of my fast. And today was also a day that I was supposed to run, not just walk, but run, part of my Couch to 5K program. I was supposed to run 15 minutes with, run 1 minute, walk 1 minute, 15 times. I was a little worried about what would happen with that because I was at 45 hours of fasting when I went out and did that run, and I was afraid I might just pass out or something somewhere along the way, but I was fine. I didn't have any problem. Yesterday late at night I started to get a headache, but that kind of went away. I guess maybe sleeping helps. But yeah, I didn't have much of a problem with that. And yeah, when I ran just fine. I don't think I ran extra slow. You can see my numbers here, and they're pretty much the same as they usually are. I even pushed it a little bit, which I actually did last time. I didn't mention that last time, I don't think, but I was supposed to run 15 at 1 minute, and when I got to the 15th minute, I just made myself go an extra minute. So I ran 2 minutes there, and I did the same thing, although this time, instead of 15, I just went all the way to 18. But when I got to the 17th minute, I ran 2 minutes straight instead of taking a walk in between. So I don't know. It's just something that I do. I guess I'm a little competitive as far as that kind of stuff goes. So I push myself to try and be a little better. And then, coming up on Saturday, I think I'm supposed to run 18 minutes straight without any rest. So we'll see how that goes. Last week, I made sure to eat before I went out running when I did my full, run. I think it was 12 minutes straight last time. But I don't know that I need to do that. I had fasted for 40 hours, and then I decided I better eat first. But this time around, I didn't eat first, and I did just fine. So maybe I won't worry about that next time. Although I won't be fasting this Saturday. I'll be just fine, full of food. But yeah, for now, I'm fasting. I got another 20 hours, something like that left, before I finish it off. So I'll just keep going. Fast has been okay. I did say I had a little bit of a headache. I've been trying to put salt in my water so that I can keep my electrolytes up. I think I may try and look into making a snake juice recipe. I saw Bruno Paglioni, whatever his name is. I can't remember. It's an Italian name and it's kind of long. Pagucci?
My name's Bruno Panucci. I hope you're doing well.
Panucci. I don't know. But anyways, he was doing a long fast and he did a whole snake juice recipe where, you put in magnesium and salt and potassium and I think baking soda. I don't know what all that stuff is for, but I think that might be helpful. I think that actually might be something that I want to do all the time, not just when I'm fasting. So maybe I'll try and do that. Maybe adding that to some bone broth might make it even better. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. We'll see. But yeah, for now, I'm going to finish that fast. I think it'll be all right. And it'll be exciting. I was saying, I think earlier this week, that I'd never made a 72-hour fast before. Turns out that's not true. I was looking at my fasting app, and it saves all the fasts that I've done. And I scrolled over a little, and I saw one that was way taller than all the rest, because most of my fasts are around 40 hours. And then there was one that was going way up, and I thought, oh, that must be the one that I did where I didn't quite make it to 72 hours. Instead, I got 68 or whatever. But then I clicked on it, and it showed me that it was 72 hours and 3 minutes long. And so I looked up in my old videos, and I found the one where I did that. Today, I finished off my 72-hour fast. And I made it to the end. I made it all the way to 72 hours. I made it to 72 hours and 3 minutes. That's right. Yeah, so I've done 72 hours. I was saying that I got to get to 72 hours just to say that I've done 72 hours. Well, I already did that. The other fast from that was only 60 whatever was from like a couple months before that. So I don't know, whatever. But yeah, here I am doing 72 hours anyways. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna make it all the way to 72. It's gonna be a full 3 days. I guess not just so that I can say that I did that, but because I'm going to do that. I don't know. I don't have a good reason now since I've already done it before. But anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow after the fast is over. Okay, it is Friday and my fast has come to an end. Took a while for that to happen though, because I didn't get started until noon on, when was it, Tuesday? However long ago it was that I stopped eating. I think it was Tuesday. So yeah, I decided I was gonna make it all the way to the end, and so I did that. I held on until I got to 72 hours and 5 minutes. Why did I go that long? Well, the last time it was 72 hours and 3 minutes, and I had to get past that. So I made sure not to eat until a couple minutes after beating my last. So that's my longest fast ever by 2 minutes. This morning I didn't get to go on my walk, which was kind of annoying because our air conditioner has gone out at our house and there was a guy coming to fix it. He said he was going to be there early in the morning. He said probably before 10. Usually I leave on my walk somewhere around 7:30 in the morning or something like that. But I didn't want to miss him because we've been without air conditioning for several days and it's kind of sucked. I mean, it was okay for me because I was fasting and so I was already kind of predisposed to being cold. So the fact that it was warmer wasn't too much of a problem for me. But, you know, everybody else didn't like it. And I needed to make sure that I was there when the guy came. But he didn't come. And then I finally called him at 10 and said, hey, man, what's going on? And he's like, oh, sorry. Thing came up and I'll probably be there by 11:30. So in the end, I could have gone on the walk. Could have done it. I guess it's not that big of a deal. You're supposed to take rest days sometimes. So I guess that's what I did today. I forgot to talk about my numbers. As soon as I got up in the morning, before I ended my fast, before I didn't go on a walk, I took my numbers. And my ketones were 3.7, which is really good, and I'm excited about that. Still not an all-time high. You would think after 72 hours of not eating, it would be pretty high, but it's pretty good. And my blood sugar was at 71, which gives me a Dr. Boz ratio of 19, which is where I like to have it, under 20. That's a good ratio, I think, for good things to happen. So at noon is when I finally ended my fast, and I had myself a plate of brisket. They had a party for somebody's retirement here at work, and there was a big pan just full of brisket that was left over at the end of it. So I shoveled a bunch of it into a container and brought it home. I think I still have like 2 more pounds of it at home. So I had that brisket. It was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as Bucky's brisket. That stuff was worth the 25 bucks a pound that I paid for it, I guess. Although if this stuff was 25 bucks a pound, I think I probably brought home $75 worth of brisket from that party. I'll be eating it for several days to come still, and I can't complain about that. But yeah, I had some brisket, and on my way to work, the diarrhea problems set in. I'm sure I've mentioned this a dozen times, sadly, on this channel, but yeah, when I fast, I have a tendency to have issues coming off the fast. Generally, it's not a big deal as long as the bathroom is close, but when you're driving, that's not so good. I had to pull over. I went to a McDonald's, and as I was walking in the door, I went to the bathroom, and some kid went into the toilet and closed the door and locked it. And I went, damn it. So I had to leave and run across the parking lot and go to the Chick-fil-A's bathroom instead. So that was no fun. So I got to work and I've had a little bit more food. I brought some with me because I know I got to eat more than just one little meal after a gigantic fast like that. But I also got to take it slow. So I had some ground beef that I cooked before the fast began, and I just wasn't able to eat much of it. So I've had a little bit more of that, and I'll probably have some more as the day goes through. I got a few more hours that I might eat during, but I don't know, maybe not. We'll have to see. We'll see how much my stomach keeps roiling, but yeah, it was good. My numbers are way up where I want them to be, way up, way down, depending on the number. And yeah, I think it's going great. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes when I get to eat all that time. That'll be so great, won't it? Hey everybody, it is Saturday, and I got up and did my numbers this morning. Get this, my ketones came up as 6.6. That is by far, by a mile, the highest that they've gotten. My blood sugar was 98. So my Dr. Boz ratio came out to 14 when you put those together. That's pretty low, pretty amazing. I guess 3-day fast is really worth it, you know. Once you start eating at the end, man, it's just like, boom, ketones, let's make some. After checking my numbers, I got on my shoes and I went for my run. Today is the big weekend run, which means that I was supposed to run 18 minutes, no stopping, no resting in between, just the full 18 minutes. And I think I did pretty good. I got more than a mile in during that, and my pace was under 15 minutes. It was actually down at 12 minutes for a little while, but that was early on. After a little while, I started fading off and fading a little further and fading, but still under 15 minutes. My run keeper said that was my fastest run yet, so I don't know what that means. I don't think that's even true. I think I had like 1450 just the other day, so I don't know, but whatever. And yeah, so after that, I had myself some bacon and eggs for breakfast. There was a partially open thing of bacon. I don't know how many, my kids do this sometimes. They'll cook themselves some bacon, but they only cook a couple of slices. So there was, I don't know, 2/3, 3/4 of a pound of bacon in the package still. So I cooked that, and since it was less bacon, I decided I would cook extra eggs. So this is actually a dozen eggs and maybe 3/4 pound of bacon, and that's what I had for my breakfast. And after that, we started doing all sorts of stuff. We started working in the yard. We worked in we had to clean the house. My wife's sister is coming to visit us with her family next week, and so we're gonna be running around doing stuff, but my wife wants our house to look nice. She wants to impress her sister and stuff. So we've got to get everything clean and finish all the various projects that are, 95% done, but just need that last little bit. So we did all that kind of stuff. And in case I haven't said it enough already, it is hot around here right now. 102 or 3 degrees each day, plus the humidity heat index makes it so hot that you sweat immediately upon walking out the door. And so even though our air conditioning got fixed, we were outside all day, and so I sweat like a dog. Oh my gosh, I probably lost 2 pounds today just in sweat. It went a long time. Eventually I was hungry, but I wasn't in a place. We were out getting stuff, doing some errands, getting things from Home Depot and whatnot. I wasn't really in a place where I could get some food that's the kind of food that I'm willing to eat. So I had to wait, and I didn't get around to eating this brisket that you see here, some more of that brisket that I grabbed from work earlier in the week. I ate that. It was like 8:30. As you can see, I'm eating this outside. Once we were done, we all sat down. Well, some of us, me and my wife, sat down. The rest of the people were like, no, there's air conditioning in here, and so they stayed inside. But we were sitting out there on the back porch, and I was eating my brisket, and that's where this picture is taken. It was pretty late. Might have been better had I eaten a lot earlier, but I guess you get what you get on a day like today. So that was what I got. That's what we had today. A crazy day. And week's almost up, so we'll see how it goes. All right, it is Sunday, which is the last day of the week. And today was a little less crazy than yesterday, at least. Still hot and sweaty, as every day has been. But yeah, I got up this morning and I did my measurements, of course, as I do every day. And my ketones came back down to earth a little bit. They're still good and high, just 3.8 now, though, instead of 6.6. So, you know, they're not quite as astounding, but they're very good, very good numbers to have. And my blood sugar is at 103, which is, you know, a slight bit higher, but also not bad, which gave me a Dr. Boz ratio of 27, which is a good Dr. Boz ratio. I can't complain at all about that. It's well under 40. I would have been astounded by it a few weeks ago until I got some of the ratios that I had yesterday. But yeah, that was good. And then after that, I went out for my walk. So rest day today, so it was just walking. And I totally forgot to turn on my run keeper to get my stats and stuff, so I'm not showing those, just showing video of walking. But yeah, I got out there and moved around a little bit, which has become a habit for me since this thing began, and I'm enjoying that. Made it through 2 whole weeks of the Couch to 5K thing, and I'll be keeping up on that as the days go by. Well, hopefully it doesn't get any worse. My lower back has been bugging me, and I'm really nervous that I might wind up getting an episode of sciatica again. I had one back in November. Oh my gosh, was that the most miserable. I mean, it took like a month, and I was freaking miserable the entire time. It was horrible. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. It hurt all the time. So I'm hoping I don't set that off again. And I'm also hoping that that can go away once I, you know, heal myself, cure myself, get rid of the fat and all the problems, and feed myself the food that I need to make things work. So hopefully that's what I am in the process of doing. When I got up this morning, my daughter had started a roast for me last night, and it was ready. So I decided to eat that for breakfast. I was putting it in the fridge, and I thought, why would I do that? It's hot and ready right now. Let's just eat it for breakfast. Normally I have bacon and eggs, and that's what I was going to do, but I figured I'll have bacon and eggs for lunch, I guess. So I ate the roast, which was really tasty. I like roast, and this was pretty good stuff. It was at least as good as that leftover brisket that I've got, which is not as good as the Buc-ee's brisket. But, you know, not everybody can be Buc-ee's, so there's that. But yeah, I had that for my breakfast. Later on in the day, I had, around 5 o'clock, I had bacon and eggs, like I said I would. And in this case, I found that we had half a package of bacon that was open in the fridge. And I thought, oh, geez, I should eat this. But I didn't want to do like I did yesterday, where I had, tons of eggs and a little bit of bacon. So instead I decided to do a package and a half of bacon. And then I had 6 eggs with that. So it was a pretty big meal, and I kind of really stuffed myself. But it was tasty. It was very good. And hoping that was a good thing for me to have done. I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't stuffed. I wasn't feeling sick or anything like that. I finished my food. Yeah, I probably could have done without the extra half of the package of bacon. I'll have to keep an eye on that kind of thing in the future. But I figure, I do enough fasting that you got to eat a little extra sometimes on the days that you eat. If you're going 3 days without food in the middle of the week. But yeah, that was Sunday. Now it's time to head back over to Big Anklevich to give us the lowdown on what happened this week. Okay, welcome back. So that was the week. It was a pretty darn good week, I would say. I managed to stick with it all the way through. Didn't even have a hiccup at the end of the week like I did with my anniversary weekend last week. So things went pretty darn well. So what happened with the scale? Well, let's get on the scale and see. So here is what I weighed last week, 283.7. And the average of this week dropped me down to, 282.0. It's not terrible. It's down. I can't complain about that. So that's something. I'm down 1.7 pounds, which is, that's a far cry from the 4 whatever pounds that I got last week. But you can't get that every week. It doesn't work that way. And heck, if I did this every week, 1.7 pounds for a year, I'd be in Wonderland. That's all it would take. So I'm not too upset. And more importantly than any number on a scale is the health. We're here for health. This is Big Anklevich on health. So, numbers like my blood sugar is more important. When I started it off, the first week, my average of blood sugar was 202. That's really high, in case you didn't know. Now, with the 3 weeks since then, the average is 106. And, that's substantially lower. And actually, if you take just the last 2 weeks, the average is 89. So, that's pretty amazing. I've definitely regained some health there. I'm doing well, and I'm not damaging myself anymore. And in fact, I'm actually rebuilding and improving things. So I'm feeling really good about that. Been doing running, doing my couch to 5K thing. And on Saturday, I did my second big run at the end of the week. Ran for 18 minutes straight. And I did just fine. It wasn't all that difficult. I was able to do the run without too much trouble. Haven't had much in the way of, that burning sensation you get in your chest when you're really out of shape. I don't have that. I get tired, but I don't have any of those kind of problems. So I can't complain about that either. I'm doing well, and I'm going to keep going. I'm working for it. I have been feeling a little bit of aching in my lower back, which is where I always have problems. And I'm still fat, so that might be an issue. If I'd waited until I was all the way done being fat to start running, maybe that would be better for me. I don't know, but I stupidly decided to go for it. And so here we are. We've got what we got. And I'm hoping that it doesn't get any worse. We shall see. If it does, I may have to rest for a few weeks or something. Just feeling a little twinge of sciatica in my back, which is not good. I had that in November, December last year, and that was absolutely miserable. I was on the verge of just wishing I could die. So let's hope that I don't get there, because I don't need that. But otherwise, yeah, it's been a really good week. It's going really well. Sticking with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs carnivore, and that I think really helps. I don't know if you find this, but I know that I am not what they call a moderator. So if I start letting things in, then I will go for it, you know. If I eat some dairy products, I will eat all the dairy products. I will get a thing of cheese, I'll eat a little of it, and then I'll eat all of the cheese. And so, you know, it's best that I just don't eat cheese. And the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs is a really good way to limit that. All of those things will fill you up. So if you can only eat those things, it will keep you from doing any kind of binging, any trouble. So I find it's a really big help. I think I'm gonna definitely stick with it for as long as I need to. And let's hope it's not forever, but you know, I think on top of that, dairy products aren't something that's particularly agreeable to me. I love the taste of them, but they give me dry skin and stuff like that. And I find that without having them, I'm doing much better. So it's in general and all around pretty good. And I'm just gonna keep going. So I'll see you guys again next week when we get back here on Big Anklovich on health.